So we've got just a few more seconds. We do see that there's other people coming in. So welcome everybody as you come in. And obviously some people won't have their cameras on. That's just fine. So folks, it is now 9:05. So officially we're starting these meetings. We're doing something a little bit different. As I just explained to Kevin, y'all, those that's watching the replay, you'll get to hear some redundancy, but we're going to go ahead and kick this off. We're trying to start a meeting at 9:05. That's Central Standard Time. Obviously adjust that for wherever you are in the world. I know, Kevin, it's definitely a lot different. And Fabrizio and Sasha, they're 7 hours ahead. Captain Smith, he's in Norway. So I want to welcome everybody. Number one, I want to welcome the friends and family of OpenEXO. Obviously, we are promoting this also through the OpenEXO group. That's how a lot of us met. For those that's not familiar with OpenEXO, we'd be more than happy to invite you. We'll put some links in the chat later to let you get familiar with what that is. And so, you know, we have an education channel inside of the Discord, and I just decided, along with some of the other team, that we were going to start doing a weekly meeting. We're going to keep it in line with kind of the way schools are. So we'll start at 5 minutes after. We will promptly end the official meeting at 9:50, which will give us another 10-minute buffer so that even if you need to be at a meeting at the top of the hour, you've still got a couple of minutes to answer the questions, and then we can go on. So we just want to welcome you here. We want to understand, like I said, later we'll give some better explanations about OpenEXO. We'll invite you over to some meetings. And so we're here in the education channel, and we're also highlighting a wonderful organization. Fabrizio is now in attendance. Sasha is here, his lovely wife, and they have been working. Some of you have seen Fabrizio's TED Talk. If you haven't, we'll put that link in also. But understand that the vision of Knowverse, which is what we're going to feature on today's meeting, has been in Fabrizio's mind for many years. I'll let him give you a quick rundown on that, and then Sasha's going to give us a demonstration and a presentation. But a lot of us met in the OpenEXO community, and some of the methodologies and all the things that is EXO has been applied. And one of those was taking it out on the edge so that there wasn't quite as bad of an immune system response. And they have developed in a matter of a few months a really good setup. And so I'm going to let them, I'm not going to steal their thunder. What I would love to do is I'll introduce Sasha and Fabrizio, and however y'all want to handle that, we'll let you take care of the introductions. Tell us a little bit about you, tell us a little bit about Knowverse, and then Sasha's got a wonderful presentation for us. And welcome everybody. We appreciate your support. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see you here. I'm happy to see my team here. Hello, Robin. I see you have a cat. I also have one. He's sleeping right now. So let's just do it. Okay. So my name is Sasha, and I take care of Knowverse community. I'm a community strategist, builder, and manager. In OpenEXO, I managed 2 seasons of OpenEXO Experience, another educational sub-project of OpenEXO, and I come from Singularity University. So welcome to our Knowverse, our AMTP, because of course it's an OpenEXO framework. Our AMTP is democratized access to knowledge. And even if some people may think like, okay, we don't care about future of education, right, Kevin? But if you think about it, we are all, let's say, on the same boat with the education that is suffering right now, because we all have studied, we all have learned something at school, at colleges and universities. Our children go to schools and universities. So that's it. So. Okay, our why. Every project, every idea has a problem behind, let's say, that people would like to solve. And why Knowverse exists is actually an educational inequality, because if you see all these numbers that we find out during our research period, when you see it, it's really dramatic and it's really scary. Because 750 million adults like lacking basic reading and writing skills. Can you imagine yourself or probably your relatives who can just read or write because they don't have an access to this knowledge. They don't have infrastructure to go to schools, for example. 258 million children that are just out of school, 6 out of 10 children not learning in minimum in reading and math. So they basically can't count. For us, 2 plus 2 means 4. For them, probably means nothing. And also the fact that 69 million teachers will be needed globally to provide basic education. Let's say we have a problem here. And also, when we were doing our research, let's say we agree that education is a basic human right. It's not a privilege. Everyone should have an access to free education and education of high quality. And it's not only about, let's say, education, it's also about a skill mismatch, because it affects our work, our way of working. Let's say it creates a really illusion of employment, because probably you can work, you can have your working space, you have your salary, but it doesn't mean that you have enough knowledge that is required for this job. And when you don't have enough knowledge and the knowledge is not accessible and education is not accessible, it means that it can lead you to many errors, sometimes very fatal errors. And so our people, as Knowverse was born, let's say, under the group of OpenAXO enthusiasts. So our project really it really has the whole team that we found basically in OpenAXO community. Fabrizio, Agni, Deepak, Jason here, Hans, every person who is so passionate about education, we found here in OpenAXO. And what else? So our objective is pretty big. Let's say it's very bold and brave. We would like to reach 50 million learners in the next 5 years. And please, Fabrizio, tell us how we will do it.
So, a little more detail I would like to add to your stats is that despite we are pretty bold when we say, we cover 95% of the human population with internet, that's pretty cool, but it doesn't match the reality. Half of the population is out, is not connected, despite the fact they are covered. And that's a very interesting barrier we would like to destroy, because if you think about everything that is today available online, even your beloved GPTs and other stuff, they will not work offline. So that's a very challenging situation for us. It's one of the challenges we will solve. So as you can see here, exactly, we have 1 billion students, as Sasha told you before, that's completely out of the school system for different reasons: connection, availability, money, language barrier, etc., etc. And this is our mission. Our mission is pretty simple, honestly talking. We would like to break down barriers. Barriers could be economical, physical, language, and educational. So that's it. Next. How? That's a very easy way to explain the how. Let me make an example. That's why the reason I turn off the camera, because I hope you can see my screen. I took this amazing book written by my friend Marco. And this is a book about accessibility. Okay? It's an amazing book, by the way. But I cannot read it because it's written too small for me. And as a future visual impaired, not so future, as a visual impaired, I cannot join the book. And this is the biggest difference. Up to yesterday, we always imagined to deliver content and education in a monolithic format. Content on one side, and then we compacted and use our own pedagogy because we know what the user wants. That's not true anyway. And media. And that's happened for the books, the videos, 99.9% of the online content you have today. And this is exactly the difference between us and other platforms or no platforms. We will go into no platform very soon. So what is the biggest difference? The biggest difference is pretty easy. We would like to divide these three components and reassemble them around the user's need. So the content, the pedagogy, didactic methodologies, and the media will not be somehow imposed to you as a book. When you buy a book, the author already decided everything for you. And the same in the video. When you watch a video, the author decides, oh, that's the best way to explain it. That's the best media. But we are not keeping in consideration the user needs. Maybe they cannot see the video. Maybe they cannot hear your voice. So that's not the best media. And maybe they don't understand the way you're talking, because the way you're explaining them is not aligned with their preferred way of learning. And we went through a small sprint with this guy, and I learned a lot about Bark. Honestly, I never heard about Bark before, but Sasha and Captain and other people bring to the table. So thanks again for their effort. So how we will do that? Basically, I'm very open to reply in detail to the question. We will use a bit of technology to take the knowledge, map in the knowledge, take the didactic methodology, map in the didactic methodology, and how the didactic methodology can affect the knowledge. So what does it mean? Oh, a perfect example is in the Wired video when a professor can explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old up to a PhD professor. That's a perfect example how we can change the way we convey an education. And then the media, again, media is the final way of serving the knowledge. And so the media again will be different. If you don't like the video, if you don't like the platform, you would like to use WhatsApp, you're welcome. If you prefer video, we will serve you video. If you prefer gamification, fantastic. If you prefer kinesthetic activity, hey, I mean, this is you. So the first point of reflection is not where we started with the platform, or we're starting with the user. And I don't like to hear the word platform, honestly. Now we are using cross-platform to make things easier to understand, but usually we talk about no platform. So it's a liquid way to present, adapting to the user need. And user need can be real-time, like there's not enough light today, I'm a bit tired, I don't have a lot of level of attention today, so please adapt the content to my needs. Or permanent need, as I said before, amazing book, I cannot read it. That's it, next slide. Yeah, I already went through that. That's a very good example. I love the platform in this slide. I mean, I live on Coursera, Udemy, edX. Khan Academy is amazing. The tutor of Khan Academy is fantastic. And also Learn Everything is a perfect example of the ability we have today to take the knowledge and convey the knowledge. But hey, again, we are missing a very important step. Is the user will drive his own education now. So we need to change a bit of the approach. Next, please. And yeah, here we have Annie somewhere. I saw her before. So when we say we have an impressive validation, because Annie is our amazing, how can I say, global educators that collect a lot of testimonials, and also I did different POC using the technology. So on the pedagogy, we have Andy that cover more than 100,000 how can I call them, students / validators. And on my side, I had a couple of POC in different countries to validate the technology approach.
Thank you, Fabrizio. So now it's about our community, because Knowverse is built by people and for people. So basically what it means, we would like to have different people from these categories in our community, because we would like to build this Knowverse according to their needs, according to their feedback and insights. So who would we like to have? with us. Of course, teachers, because teachers are the main, let's say they play the main role in education right now. Also parents, because parents often face different problems when their kids go to school, for example, especially when their kids have special needs, special requests. Of course, NGOs, volunteers who can help us and support us with their amazing skills and expertise. And of course, we would like to have our champions, basically people who would be able to introduce Knowverse in their own countries, in their own local communities. And so you can become part of our community. We have a community on Discord. We will share a link also in the chat. And yeah, please join us. We would love to have your feedback. We would love to have your insights. We would love to have your help and support, because really education is a human right. It's not a privilege. So democratize access to knowledge with Knowverse.
All right, it helps if I unmute. All right, folks. So obviously, you know, as we say, we're going to try to hold these events to where we've got a 10, 15, 20-minute talk and then open it up for questions and answers. Obviously, number one, I'm very passionate about this because, again, I do see the need for opening up all types of education worldwide, because not everybody has the privileges that some of us that's here on this Zoom have. And so, and again, just like Agni has mentioned before, you know, it's not just about the arithmetic and everything else. I did bring this up earlier, but even life skills. And that's like, you know, one of the programs that we're working with in conjunction with Dr. Robin and her Woman Optimized program is IMBALSA, International Natural Building and Life Skills Academy. I teach blacksmithing. I mean, there's so many skill sets that people, they don't realize that someday they may depend on it, but today there are people that depend on it. So they're not so much worried about, you know, whether or not they can add up 2 + 2 = 4. They're worried about how do they put food on the table for their families tonight. And so that's another part of the education side of things that I'm so interested in. And so we do invite teachers, we invite, you know, instructors, you know, we invite like-minded individuals that's got something to teach. Doesn't matter if it's, you know, in a regular school setting or whatever that is. With that being said, number one, I want to tell Sasha, you done an amazing job. Fabrizio, as always. I got tickled when he said, don't forget I'm Italian. 1 minute talk is not my cup of tea. And that's probably the same for old country here. You know, I guess us Tennesseans, we just like to linger. So I'm going to step off the mic. And if there's any questions, by all means, come on board and ask, which most of the people here are participants in the group or have been supporting the group. But we've got a few in the background, don't have their cameras on. We'd invite you to turn your camera on. But even if you don't want to turn your camera on, just come up, ask any questions you've got. And we'll give it a few minutes with this, and then we'll kind of explain going forward what we envision doing with the education channel. So don't be bashful.
So can I ask a question? This is Robin. Nice to meet those of you I haven't had the chance to meet yet. Amazing work. And I feel the power and the passion and the purpose behind all of this. So definitely something that's needed. I saw the slide with Udemy, Coursera, Khan Academy, and the check marks could you help me understand? I saw that you're doing cross-platform. Are you taking so I'm sorry if these are really ignorant questions, but you're bringing together courses that have already been created, giving them different format possibilities, so audio, visual, and offering them all in one place where people can go in and sort of personalize or customize their needs or their style or what they want. So I'm filling in blanks. So I would love it if you could help me understand? You're a conglomerate.
I think you presented better than me the solution. I mean, that's exactly the idea. So at the beginning, obviously, we will invite teachers, okay, because we are not planning to replace teachers. Even in my TED talk, I'm joking about it, but we are not planning. We will we are working with them, and Anya's an amazing example. So what you say is correct. In the future, the idea is that we will go to the content creator, we will go to this platform. And by the way, I don't believe in competitors. I believe in partnership because it's a global problem. That's not a market. Yeah, that's a very big problem. Okay, and then, okay, you did your course, you did your slides, you did your video, you did your whatever. Fantastic. Now let us connect with your content. Let digest your content and then divide these three elements and then provide this content to other people through this, let's say, ubiquitous access. It could be offline, it could be online, it could be via WhatsApp, it could be via, as you say, audio, video, kinesthetic, whatever you want. That will be the future. You're right. You did a perfect job in seeing exactly the platform, how does it work. Yeah, you're in mute. And another thing means that we are not taking care of the content. So we have people, the teachers that will take care of content. Andy will take care of the content. Jason will take care of the content. Having them show, yes, a lot of content to share. Our job is not to provide the content because I think our job is to make the content accessible.
Okay, so will you be curating? Will you be translating it all into one? It's again, I don't have the right language, but all into one technology, one kind of.
The idea is basically, I take your content, we digest through technology, and there's a lot of funny, techy acronyms we can use, NLP, NLG, whatever you like, blah, 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 and we will reassemble everything we learn from you around the user's need. And user need, as I said before, could be permanent, like I'm not an English speaker. Maybe I will, or a Chinese speaker. Or temporary, oh, today I'm very tired, I'm driving. I have not enough light, it's too noisy here.
Great. Well, this is really brilliant, Fabrizio and Sasha and the whole team. So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm just here to coordinate. I mean, there's an amazing team behind, and they need, and they take the merits of it.
yeah, no, and I do think that this making it accessible to everybody in the way that they need to learn, because certainly in my day, you didn't have choices and you were forced to learn the way they wanted you to learn.
Yes.
So having that flexibility and fluidity of style, and then as it sounds like it also can grow with the person. So you can go from kindergarten to grad school on any topic.
Exactly, and Jason made a very good point when he says it's not just about academic skills. It's about sometimes cleaning the water in your village or how to prepare something. So let's say more practical, basically practical, what we call also vocational learning.
Yeah. No, good, amazing.
Thank you.
Great question. Great comments. And you know, I've had conversations with educators, and a lot of times, yes, when a lot of times you get that knee-jerk reaction. And of course, in the EXO, we talk about the immune response. Well, you talk about getting an immune response. Let a teacher, if they just hear, oh, we're starting an education platform, it's like we homeschool. And a lot of times you get that knee-jerk reaction of what? You don't think we're capable. It's not that. And a lot of the educators will tell you that unfortunately they have to teach in the middle. They can't really go and help somebody that's advanced. They can't really go back and help somebody that's behind. They have to teach to the middle. And therefore, sometimes if somebody's really advanced, they're bored to death and probably getting shot up with Ritalin when they were just bored. And then if it's somebody that's got either a learning disability or they're just slow in that particular topic, they stay so stagnated and behind, and it causes issues. And a lot of your educators are now realizing, hey, I can put my lessons online And that way the fast students, they can watch it on 2 times and be done with an hour video in 30 minutes. And the slower ones, they can even slow it down or go back and rewatch at their own pace without the embarrassment of their peers seeing that they can't grasp it. And so that's kind of another thing that I'm passionate about, is being able to have it in multi different facets to where anybody can learn at their own pace.
So have there been any, so I love, it's my passion to bring in partnerships and collaborations and sharing of information and resources from the, in my opinion, very feminine way of everybody has their own skill set, everybody brings their own thing. Has there been any pushback? Like, are you working with Coursera or Udemy or like, is there proprietary issues? Is there threat to bringing it to a cross-platform?
Yeah, no, we didn't yet. And the reason why, because we are still working on the MVP and we are planning to release this AD connection, so the API in next year. But also we work with a lot of institutions, we work with schools and teachers, and so Anya can say way more than me. And also we work with foundations. And honestly talking, what Jason says is absolutely true. If you have the passion to explain the teachers that you are here to take their own content and deliver to their own student and help their student to reach the goal, that's the most important part. And the best part is the validation. Because it's very easy to talk about how good we are. I mean, everyone can do that, honestly. Our idea is the best in the world, probably, but what we discovered during the validation is that there's some amazing results. I don't know, Sasha, if you put in the slide or not. Sorry, I don't remember. Is there in the slide, Sasha? Validation? No. Okay, doesn't matter. I can show you some validation data. But basically, the best thing we learn in our experience, and please, Anya, interject because we have more data than me. And that's, for example, we observe a 40% month-over-month enrollment growth, 100% score improvement on the lower end. The lower end, Jason mentioned it before, and a 50% improvement in middle and high score ranges.
Yeah.
So, and this is exactly, I think, the benefit. And I think yesterday we had this conversation. It says, oh, what are your metrics? What are your KPI? How many people enrolled in your platform? I don't care. That's vanity. I have only one metric for us, is how many people will reach their own objective at the beginning. They decided at the beginning of enrollment. How many people will reach it? All the other stuff, number of people who download a number of courses, for me, are not very relevant. I mean, we should learn. I think we should learn how to work on efficiency or results.
It's an enhancement to everybody. So it's right. It complements, it enhances the learning experience for each unique individual student, and they can, like Jason said, slow it down, speed it up, learn it this way. Yeah, I think I get it.
So, hi. For sure, that's a complete avenue, but it's also thinking of it from the ground up completely, thinking of kids that don't have any education. I'm familiar with India, for example, that there's just no education or accessibility to it because there's no funding or there's no knowledge of it, or because food is more important, and it is, right? But education is a human right because it allows for critical thinking. It allows to participate in this world, especially in this world, and with technology now that is leveling the field. And people have access wherever you are. You don't have to America, I'm in New York City, for example, right? America is more superb than this. I don't believe that. I believe that there's brilliant minds globally, and whoever wants to help themselves can with this technology. So the way I see Knowverse is more on that level of making the real idea of democratizing education and allowing people to uplift, where the norms are not allowing them, even in societies, and those societies even exist in America. There's weird cults all over the world where women are not allowed to educate themselves, or girls, or if you're of a certain class or whatever. Like, it penetrates so many levels of these things that we think that should be, and we all, and me included, right? Like, we take things for granted because they're so part of our normal lives. But I feel like this, the good thing about technology is this, for me, the ability to educate oneself and to learn if you want to. And this is what excites me about Knowverse and the idea of the advances of technology.
Absolutely.
I love that you talk about democratization, because of the 6Ds, that's one of them. Obviously, the monetization is a big deal. I would like to ask what you would like to see in terms of monetization strategies and what we might be able to refer to the program.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would like to interject a bit on Anya when I reply. Hello, Nikki, by the way, didn't see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
And also, Anya made a very good point. And discussing with Frederick and Ali, that today is not present, is the fact that sometimes we give it also for granted that the best education will come from US. At the same time, we recognize, talking with Frederick, with Ali, and with Foundation, that a lot of people will like to have also local sources of education. And that's amazing, because if you will give them the opportunity to deliver their own knowledge, now also they will have the ability to consume their own knowledge. So going back to you, Nikki, okay, we have one big challenge and one big goal. And the big goal we have is to make the platform at a standard rating of 0.3 cent per person, so 0.3 cent per person. That's a very, let's say, bold goal, but it's not impossible with the technologies and the progression of technologies. So in terms of the model, and here Frederick can interject, he knows everything. Oh, by the way, Frederick, I discovered today you have an MBA on financial, so you can go deeper.
Thank you. 15 years later, Fabrizio.
Yes.
The guy, he doesn't read the documents.
I never read your bio, sorry, I never. Before today, I never. Yeah, no, because Frederick and I met a long time ago when we were young and we black hair. No, I had black hair. Frederick was still more blonde. Okay, so basically the idea, Nick, is that part of the knowledge will be available through donations, and part of the course will be available through donations. So if you cannot afford it through NGOs, and we are working with them, they will donate the subscription. And our goal is really to bring the subscription at $1 per month per user, maybe in 5 years. That's really my goal. And in the future, the $1 will disappear and we go into data strategy, and through data strategy, we will offer for free to everyone. So that's the goal. We would like to be absolutely competitive as well on prices, because again, price is a big barrier today. I agree with you.
Yeah, and you also have, the governance and the grants and all of these things that are involving all kinds of regulation and limitations, and I think
that's Frederick word. You have to talk with him.
Okay.
Frederick, that's
decentralization
your
and yeah. So let's hear from Frederick.
Yeah. No, but also, Ali, when we talk about that, don't forget that the solution, if there is a priority for the poorest, as we can say, can serve developing the developed countries, And the basic idea, if you take it from US, European standard, you have monthly subscriptions for €10 or $10. You can give $1 for someone else to learn. So, and secondly, if parents today has to pay some private teacher to help his kids, paying $10 a month is much, much cheaper than paying $20, $30 an hour for a teacher. So we can be competitive in developed countries as well. But the solutions, is always global. You cannot say, for instance, today that you are going to do an NFT and so on for the private data of young, of 10, 12 years old kids in Africa. What's the value of the NFT of their personal data? It's impossible. So it doesn't work like this. So many people told me to do what Fabrizio says, do the platform at first, and then work directly with the actors involved. We cannot find the perfect solution yet, and the tokenization, because we use blockchain certainly, is moving so fast that we might have better ideas in a few months than now.
Well,
So-
go ahead, Frederick.
No, Jason, the subject, please.
Well, and actually, which I'm going to step away from that for just a second because it is very important. We need to figure it out. One of the main things is making sure that we do set it up so that those that are in need of the education can get that education and there's no limitations. That's, to me, that's even above and beyond monetization or whatever. Is the monetization for this type of program is set up mainly to make sure that that is offered worldwide. But I also want to bring up one key point that we didn't really touch on. And again, AI is a topic that a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, and bring it up in education. And it scares people. Oh, should we even allow it? Should we this? Should we that? Absolutely. Because your students, the young generation right now, if they don't start learning about AI and all this new technology, what are they going to do 5-10 years from now when they're looking for a job? But one of the other things that I'm passionate about is think about an AI tutor for any student, whether they're slow, they're advanced, whether they're in the middle, whatever. Everybody learns different. And imagine that AI assistant or multiples that can tutor this individual on, oh, you like to learn visually and using video, and you like it in 2 speed. So here we go. And it automatically adjusts the lessons for that student based on where their learning curve is. They realize, oh, you're dyslexic. Well, let us adjust the letters on the screen so that you can read just like a normal individual because they know what parameters your dyslexia has. So that is another thing that I know there's people working behind the scenes. And just like we had a gentleman show up yesterday for the AI working group, that he come on and started talking and realized that he's visually impaired. And yet he's so excited that a chat GPT now, he can put a photograph of like a PDF file and it will describe to him what's on that. And see, most of us sighted individuals, we don't realize that. And so there's so many things. And imagine a deaf student to where that avatar is actually sitting in the corner doing sign language on every word that's being said, no matter what that language is. And then, the translations, being able to understand, the fact that everybody in the world someday will be able to understand Old Country in his native language excites me.
Yeah, and Hans, I just might add in there, there was a study done on AI in school here, and they said, unfortunately, it's the best students that has the best ability to utilize AI and kind of integrate it in their own work, so it's hidden. So it's the pupils are not that talented that get caught in cheating, kind of. And I wanted to, so that's the new technology. But as Sasha shared in the Knowverse LinkedIn, 13th of February was Radio Day, and we have done audio remote teaching for more than 100 years already. So that's also a channel that we might look at utilizing. So there's this combination of technology, old and new, but also creating learning packages that can be sent, delivered digitally, or in whatever manner. It can even be a teacher, like through the Be Own Sports Foundation, and they create a happening where, you know, there is learning and experiencing, and in creating community. So it's trying to think as wide as possible. I'm sharing the LinkedIn Radio Day link.
And we appreciate that, Hans. That's a great point. You know, obviously the Beyond Educate or Beyond Sports Foundation is a great one put on by Ali, and there's a lot of people here working with that, and it's a great foundation to get behind. And so that's just another example. Even though Knowverse is just in its infancy, and today is officially the soft launch of Knowverse, it's already supporting multiple foundations and vice versa. So folks, we're coming up on, it's 9:46 here in the South. So, you know, out of respect of time, we did want to make sure that we officially shut down in 4 minutes, but we will hang around a little bit. Like I said, this is kind of a friends and family get together. But I also just wanted to give a quick shout out. Obviously, Kevin, if you're still here, jump back in here for a second. But I wanted to give a quick shout out because, again, one of the things we're going to be working on every week is having a similar program such as this, and it's going to be geared around education. It's going to be in the EXO community. I have stepped ahead and said that I would try to do my best to host this. We're always going to need help for host, co-host, etc. And it won't be necessarily for a monetization program. It's just carrying on more information about education and different ways of supporting that. And so I just wanted to bring Kevin back up. Obviously, he's a very busy man in the EXO community. So I just wanted to let him introduce himself and tell us there's actually a lot of calls going on throughout the week. So Kevin, step up for just a second.
Thanks, Jason. Really appreciate it. Yeah, if you I think many people here have come to networking before, which is a little bit later today. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, when it comes to working groups, we obviously, many people might know and have attended the AI working group, which happens on a Monday, and there's a Discord channel for that. And we've had a number of community members reach out about other groups, and this education working group has been there, but not super active. Even though we have so many people within the community that are in the education space, and have worked on a number of projects from Laws and Educate for Life through to a number of university professors at, I think, the Universidad Católica in Peru and in Chile and in 2 universities here in South Africa, a few in Spain, a few in the US. There are all these people. They're somewhere, and many of them probably do not use Discord. And so, that is something which we're really trying to drive a lot more to really get more and more of the community members that are potentially just around watching from a distance, as right on the boundary there of community and crowd, closer in towards community, in order to actually join and share. I agree 100% with what you said there, Fabrizio, about focusing on, partnering, collaborating, working together. I mean, that's really the only way we create a better future, right? Now, I mean, the pathway to there might have a chasm somewhere, which we're going to have to be building a bunch of bridges to cross over. But hopefully within this community, we can absolutely do that. So thanks, Jason, for stepping up. We hopefully are going to have more and more working groups. Kent is really getting close to one around sort of regenerative systems and all of that. And we have a few people who are interested in small business and or family business. So, but do be on the lookout for that. And it is now the top of the hour, so I'm done.
All right, folks. And so, as we said, we're going to officially call that the end. I do want to shout out to the people that sat with me on YouTube Live with no sound. Unfortunately, I went to stream out, so you're hearing this on the replay, but I apologize. I do appreciate you hanging out, and I will try to do better. Old Country made a mistake, first one this year, if you believe that. But no, folks, we really appreciate y'all coming in. So we appreciate it. If you've got a meeting to be at next, you can officially say that your class is over, and we're going to hang out for a few minutes. If anybody does have some more conversating, we'll be more than happy to do it. We're an open book. So thank y'all for showing up, and we will catch you later. Thank you, Sasha and Fabrizio, for a presentation.